quand les filles sont belles, du côté de nos gens. Et puis de temps en temps, un air de vieille romance semble donner la cadence. Popoter dans les bois, dans les fraises, du côté de nos gens. Voici le printemps.
Bonjour, mes amis, and welcome to Gourmet Cooking. Let's do a little Chinese cooking tonight. We've got some interesting dishes. We're going to make, first of all, some little baskets out of some noodles, some Chinese noodles. We're going to shape those and deep fry those, and then we're going to do a shrimp stir-fry dish to fill the baskets. Really flavorful with all the aromatic vegetables and the sauce and the beautiful succulent shrimp. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do a bean curd or tofu with oyster sauce, a very interesting dish. Has some vegetables to go with it. You fry the tofu and it gets nice and crispy, and it has that wonderful flavor of the oyster sauce. A little rice to go with that, and we'll have one of the very, very nice meal to enjoy in a little while. So all right, let's go with our noodles. We have some done already, but let's talk about those. Now I'm going to tell you about the initial preparation because it's very routine, and it just takes a little time. Now, these Chinese noodles, you've seen them. They come in packages like this, and they're rather hard, as you can see here. They're often called ramen noodles. They make soup out of it with flavorings. But these are the noodles that we're going to use. And what we do is we follow the package directions. It says on the package to simply put this into a pot of boiling water for 3 minutes, stirring and break it up so that they will all separate. We drain that, and we wash it a little bit to get some of the starch out, and then we dry it on towels. And then after that, we add a little bit of oil to it to keep it from sticking, and what we end up with is our nice little noodles that you can see, which we boiled in the water, we drained, we refreshed in cold water, and dried, and then put a little oil on the noodles to keep them from sticking together. Now, this is the ingredient for our noodle baskets, but we need a gadget or two to make the baskets with. And we have some oil in a pot that's just about at the deep fry temperature. I'm going to turn it up a little more because we're just about ready to use it. So you need about a good 3 or 4 inches of oil in a pot that's very hot at the deep fry temperature. And what you have is either a device made for this. You have 2, I guess you would call them strainers or basket makers. You put your product in there and you put the 2 together and it shapes the basket. Now, if you don't have these, and these do cost a little money, you can use 2 metal strainers. 2 strainers, very inexpensive. You put your product in here and put the other one on top. You must be careful, though. The plastics are the handles rather are plastic, and putting them near the hot oil could do some damage, or you get longer handle ones. But you can use an ordinary strainer to do this. Now I'm going to use the gadget because we have it, and all that means is that first we take it and dip it in the oil so that it is lightly coated with oil, and we take our noodles and we drape those around the sides and making sure the bottom gets covered. It's all right to let some hang out because we'll ultimately cut those off. All right, we've got now some noodles. We're only going to do one because it takes time to do these, and we already have most of them done. And then we take the other half, we dip it in the oil and put that on top of the noodles and press down. And we have, therefore, made a shape. But they're all soft and will need to be crisped up. And we do that by placing that in some very hot oil, slowly. Now, there's a little bit of water content in these noodles, and that's what's causing this oil to bubble up like that. And as soon as that water dissipates, the grease will settle down. Now this takes about 3 minutes for the noodles to cook through and turn a nice golden brown. So let's see, the water is settling down now. We probably can put this all the way down and even let it sit there. So while that continues to fry for another 2 minutes or so, let us prepare some of the ingredients or vegetables we will need for the stir-fry dish. But let's stop here and make a little comment that we forgot to do at the beginning. For those of you that are interested, the recipes for this show are on page 114 and 115 of Volume 3 of Gourmet Cooking. All right, our noodle basket is doing just nicely. It's almost ready. So let's let it go for a minute or so longer, and we're going to need several ingredients. Besides our nice shrimp, we have some beautiful broccoli. We've already cleaned and cut into small pieces, and we have some green onions that we need to cut, and we simply want to cut those sort of on an angle and give those that oriental character for that slant cut that is so typical of these. Now, I think our basket's about done. Let me take a tray with a towel on it just to, yes, that looks nice and brown. We want to let that drain until that oil stops dripping. And we're going to bring that over to the center. Now, I'm finished with the oil because I'm only going to do one on camera. So let me move that off the heat and put that aside to cool down. And we'll turn the heat off. Now, back to our basket. We've got all these little pieces hanging out. You can trim those off. And I have some just simple kitchen shears to do that with. And you want to take, on the bottom, your knife and cut any little pieces that are coming through, because that's what holds it in and makes it difficult to unmold. So by cutting all those little pieces, it'll help. We then take the top part off by taking it up and twisting. Well, this one came loose the opposite way. Usually the top comes out and the basket stays in the bottom. So that means that I've probably got a few pieces on the inside here that are holding that. So we can scrape that, and with any luck, we'll have this basket come right off. Run your knife around until the basket will free. There we are. So we have our nice little basket, just like the one we had before. We can still trim it if we wanted to make it real neat. However, those little pieces are very attractive. So we'll put those aside, and we've made our basket. We needed 8 for this menu today, so we already have. That was the 8th one, and that's all ready to go. But now it looks like we need to get started with our stir-fry dish. We have some oil that's heated here in the wok. It's about ready, but let's go on with the other ingredients. Now, we need some ginger. We already have most of it, about 2 tablespoons. So we cut a nice slice of ginger, and we cut that in small julienne strips. We're also going to have some garlic, which we want then to crush, and then cut that into small strips or pieces. So we can take our ginger and our garlic and start that in the stir fry. We can add that to our oil and let that come up to heat with it. That should have been a little hotter, but it'll get there any moment now. So we take while that's cooking, we're going to take some mushrooms, and we want then to cut those in some nice slices. And we have the bamboo shoots, the broccoli, green onions, and the mushrooms. But this requires a sauce. And that sauce is going to be a little chicken stock, about a half cup of chicken stock. We have about about a tablespoon and a half or two of soy sauce. We have a little sherry wine, about a half cup. Just a quarter teaspoon of sugar and some cornstarch, about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So this is going to make up our sauce. So we wanted to blend that and set that aside until it's needed. Now we have our sauce all made. Let's put that aside. Let's go back to our dish with the garlic and the ginger, which is cooking just nicely. Let's put in our green onions and let me turn some heat on over here so that that wok will be ready when we are. So we toss our green onions with the ginger and the garlic, and we take our broccoli and we toss that for a minute or so. Now, let's take our shrimp. We have some nice shrimp. We'll take off the garnishes for the moment. We will use those at the end, and our lemon slices are no longer needed. We have about 1.5 pounds of some nice shrimp that have all been deveined. So we now take those with our nice green broccoli, the garlic, and the ginger, and let's toss those. And we'll let those cook a little bit until the shrimp turn a nice pink. We will then add 3 ingredients: the bamboo shoots, the snow peas, and the mushrooms. Now the snow peas, we took those, some of them were rather large, and we simply cut those in half on an angle, simply so that the peas would distribute throughout this dish. So tossing our shrimp in the oil. We want those to cook nicely, and then we'll add the other ingredients. So at this point now, we can talk about the other dish that we have, and that is the tofu dish. Now the tofu is nothing more than bean curds. Soybeans are boiled to form a soy milk, and then it is treated just like you would treat milk for cheese, and it comes in a nice solid block like this. It is a very low-calorie type of thing, and in itself has relatively little flavor. We're going to cut off, we only need a little bit more. We cut off a slice, and then we want to cut that into cubes, and we add that to what we already have cubed, and what we have now is about 1 pound of the tofu. Let's go back to our shrimp dish. We can toss the shrimp one more time. And add now the mushrooms, the bamboo shoots. These, of course, were canned. And the snow peas. All these wonderful colors and crunchy textures will come together with the pink shrimp to make really a very attractive dish. So let's toss this now. And let it have the benefit of that oil. At which point now we can add our sauce that we put together, the sherry, the cornstarch, the chicken stock, and we'll toss that and let this cook enough to let that sauce thicken and coat all these wonderful delicious ingredients. In the meantime, let's just swap burners because we need now to, I have a little bit of food that we dropped there. We'll put that aside. we have a nice hot burner here. So for our tofu dish, we need some green onions first, and we'll start those immediately and toss those. However, we really wanted to take our tofu, so let's take our green onions out at the moment, and we'll put those back, and adding a little bit of oil. We now want to take the tofu and cook that a moment. Let's toss our shrimp with the sauce and the beautiful vegetables. That sauce is thickened now. I think we can turn our fire off, pull it aside, and let it set for a moment while we do our tofu. We have the nice pieces of the bean curd. We want to toss those in the oil. And let those brown a little bit. Now, they'll come up to browning. Now we take our green onions. We take the rest of the onions, add that to those we already started. We're also going to need some nice celery. And we like to string our celery, so we peeled it, and we like to also cut it on a diagonal to give it, again, that very nice character, and it also gives the vegetable a lot more surface. We're also going to need for this dish some green pepper, which we want to, again, cut on an angle. Let's go back to our tofu and toss. It has just about finished. It needs a little more cooking, a little more browning. And the other ingredient we'll need for this dish is, again, a few mushrooms, and we have those. So now we can take our tofu, which, as you can see, has begun to brown nicely. We'll toss it a little bit more. And it has a nice characteristic. As it cooks, it firms up. It will get nice and crunchy on the outside and yet stay nice and creamy on the inside. We can add just a little bit more oil, and I have some here. Now we can start with our vegetables. Again, our green onions, celery, the bell pepper, and the mushrooms. And as you can see, in Chinese cooking, most of the work is in the preparation, or the pre-cooking, or the pre-preparation, really. So let's toss our vegetables with the mushrooms. And this, too, is going to need a sauce. So we have our little bowl that we used for our onions there. We want to, again, very similar, except that this has the chicken stock, soy sauce. That's oil. We don't need that. And that's oil. And the cornstarch and the oyster sauce. Oyster sauce is a product of oysters that is a flavoring in Oriental food. It has more of a meaty taste than it does a fishy taste, but it is really excellent. Now we've poured out the necessary amount here, and we'll add that to our sauce, and this gives the dish its extraordinary characteristic flavor and will help give that tofu a definition. Now we can add our sauce. To our vegetables and return the tofu. Toss all these beautiful ingredients, and we have developed a very beautiful sauce. Our heat can come down now since it only needs to heat, and we can now start serving our meal. Let's clear up our board a little bit. And go now, first of all, to our baskets. As you can see, we have made 8 nice little baskets, and we need to fill those with our shrimp and vegetables. Tossing those once again. The colors are beautiful. The fragrances are absolutely fantastic. So let's take and put a nice spoonful or 2 of all these beautiful colors and flavors in each one of our baskets. Really nice, beautiful shrimp and the aromatic vegetables and the wonderful sauce that was created with the sherry and the wine and the chicken stock. So we fill all of our nice little baskets, our noodle baskets, putting a little green on top of each one. And we have a little left over, which we'll use for the kitchen help. In the meantime, we have now prepared our nice noodle baskets with our stir-fry shrimp, wonderful flavors and fragrances. We need now to serve our tofu dish. We'll bring a serving plate up forward, and we have our nice tofu with the wonderful oyster sauce that develops. And the nice texture and flavor and fragrances here are really unique, and they'll go well with a little bit of rice. And we've already prepared the rice. We just need to serve that in a nice serving bowl. We had the rice all cooked ahead, since that's something we've done many times, and you've seen done many times. So we'll simply put our rice in the bowl. And have a little extra for refills if necessary. So we have prepared now our Chinese meal of our noodle baskets with the shrimp stir-fry dish, along with some tofu in oyster sauce and a nice bowl of rice. We're going to bring this into the dining room and set it up. We'll have a little wine and, of course, a little fortune cookies to go with that. In the meantime, we'd like you to see the recipes. Well, now we have our Chinese meal with a flair. Our wonderful noodle baskets, fried, crisp, and crunchy, and they hold a wonderful mixture of shrimp and broccoli and snow peas and flavors and fragrances that are just fantastic. And then we're going to accompany that, of course, with our tofu in oyster sauce, a very unique condiment and flavor that comes from the oyster sauce. And, of course, a little bit of rice. So let's serve a little bit of each of these items. We'll take some of the tofu with the celery and the bell pepper and the oyster sauce and a little bit of rice to accompany that. And I'm going to take one of our nice baskets and place that on my plate and ready for, excuse me, a feast of wonderful Chinese food. Great food. It's interesting. It's fun. The flavors are great. You'll enjoy this Chinese, the oyster sauce rather, the oyster sauce and the tofu. It's exceptional. And of course, who doesn't like shrimp? So that, with a little white wine, will help make this meal come alive. And of course, we'll end our meal with a fortune cookie. And of course, the fortune will be personal. So join us, won't you? A bientôt.
Quand les filles vont vers du côté de nos gens, et puis de temps en temps, un vieille romance, sans me donner la cadence, popoter dans les bois, dans les fraises, du côté de nos gens. Voici le printemps, la douceur du temps nous fait des avances.